What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, Mo Hunt Silver. Tonight we're going to have another two-box nickel hunt, and this will be Nickel Hunt and Fill number 29 of the series, boxes 42 and 43. And I'm actually pretty excited about this episode because, as you can see, I have marked on the sides of the boxes here, box 42 is going to have two enders, and box number 43 is actually going to have four pre-1960 enders in it. One of them that I saw was actually in 1939 as well. So, like I said, I'm pretty excited to get into these boxes to see what we can find in here. And because we could have a lot of finds in here, I will be doing the 5-roll format where I hunt 5 rolls and give you guys a recap after I hunt those rolls. So I'm hoping we can find a lot of good stuff in here. We are looking for older Jeffersons, any kind of silver Jeffersons, the war times between 42 and 45. If we can find any Buffalo nickels, any V nickels, any foreign coins, or anything else cool that might be hiding in here. And we only have 20 more spots that we got to fill in our Jefferson nickel albums right down here. So I'm hoping we can fill some spots in today's episode. And we did add 2 more spots to our Buffalo nickel album in the last episode. So let's see if we can add some more spots, and we'll get into these boxes and start hunting. All right, guys, rolls 1 through 5 of box number 42 is going to give us 4 finds, 2 of them being older. We have a 1940 out of Philadelphia, I believe, that is pretty dirty. And then a 1956 out of Philadelphia that is pretty worn. And then we found 2 lower mintage nickels here. A 2024 Philadelphia. Does have some circulation. And we also found a 2024 Denver as well. And I believe these are pretty highly sought after still. So we will hold on to that for sure. All right. We'll move on to the next set of 5. And this one does have an ender as well, which I believe that's a 1940. But we'll see. Roll 6 through 10 is going to give us a few more finds. They're all going to be pre-1960. Our oldest one up here being a 1939, and it is a Philadelphia. And I did put it under the scope already. It's not going to be the DDR. So we'll just have a regular 1939 Philly. But like I said, that is the oldest for the hunt now. And our ender was a 1940. And that's going to be out of Philly as well. Then we had 2 1952s, both being out of Philadelphia. That's the better one. And then a 1958 out of Denver. All right, so we'll move on to rolls 11 through 15. Rolls 11 through 15, guys, it's only going to produce 1 find, but it is a new one that I have never found on this channel. And it's going to be a 2025 Denver. So we'll also have a book edition right here. That is awesome. Surprised it was a Denver that I found first. So I still haven't found a 2025 Philly at all. But all right. Rolls 16 through 20 will give us nothing. So we'll move on to rolls 21 through 25. And roll number 21 is going to be another ender roll. I think that's a 1946. So we'll have to see if it has a mint mark in the recap. Rolls 21 through 25 are going to give us a few more older Jeffersons. And 3 of them are actually going to be 1946 Philadelphias. And I think this is probably about the better one out of all 3 of them. None of them are the Henning. This one does have the Ring of Death on it too. Actually, I think that was our ender from the one roll. And then we also got a 1955. And this one's going to be a Denver. Way more common. All right, so we'll move on to the second half of the box. Rolls 26 through 30. We're on roll 28, guys. I'm about halfway through it. I had to bring his in. I already flipped this to know what it is, but we have a 1938 first year Jefferson nickel. And when I flip this over, we have something pretty sweet right here. Look at that. We got a 1938 San Francisco, and that is one of our semi-key dates for the Jefferson Nickel series. And when I go over here to our red book, 1938S, there's only 4.1 million of these that are minted. So this is a very, very low production nickel right here. And this is also one we're going to need for the book as well. So we are filling 2 spots in our Jefferson nickel albums so far. That is sweet. This one is pretty worn, but that is still an awesome, awesome find. Rolls 26 through 30 didn't give us very many finds, but one we did find in it was pretty epic. 1938 San Francisco semi-key date. That's also going to fill a spot in the book. And we also found a 1940 out of Philadelphia. And then 2 from the 50s, a 1954 San Francisco, and another 1955 out of Denver. And it's not the D over S. So move on to the next 5. I'm hoping we can find some silver in one of these rolls. Roll number 34. And we're going to have another sweet find right in the middle of the roll. I believe we have silver. Yeah, 1943. So this will be a wartime silver nickel. Yeah, what do we have for a mint mark on the reverse? And that's going to be the Philadelphia. All right. So we can check that for the 3/2, which I do not see. And a doubled I, which I also don't see there. But that's sweet. We got silver. Always take that for sure. Rolls 31 through 35. Again, we're pretty successful. We got 6 total finds, and 2 of them are actually pretty good. Now, we're going to have 4 from the 50s and 1954. And that one is going to be a Philadelphia. And a 1958. There's going to be another Denver. Then we had a 1953. That is a Philadelphia. And then a 1957. That's a Denver example. And then our better 2 finds, which I'll do this one first, was our silver, 1943 Philly. Then we actually found another 1938 that's in pretty darn good shape here. But this one is going to be a Philadelphia example. But it does not look bad. And I'm going to have to see at the end of the hunt if this is going to be an upgrade for the book or not. Because that looks pretty nice. All right. We'll move on to the next 5 rolls. Rolls 36 through 40. We're going to have 3 finds. First one, 1957. Out of Denver again. And then we had 2 lower minted nickels, both modern. We did find a 2009 Philadelphia. It's in pretty average circulated condition. And then a 2024 Philadelphia. Not bad. All right. 10 rolls to go. Right now we're going to hunt the next 5. Rolls 41 through 45 will give us another 5 finds. We're going to have 3 more from the 50s. A 1954. This one's going to be out of Denver. It's pretty slick. Then we had a 1957, also out of Denver, and a 1958, also out of Denver, with some damage. Then we found a lower minted 2009 out of Denver. And this one's actually not in bad condition. Pretty good for being out there as long as it has been. Then I also found this. This is a 2006 Philly. It's in pretty good shape. And I noticed it was a little bit grease struck on the obverse. And when I flipped it over, I saw there was more grease on the reverse. But this one is also going to have a minor mint error. And when I put it under the microscope, you can see it right there. Right in here. And there's another one over here. And then we have more going down right here. That is going to be a die clash on this guy, which is pretty cool because I've never found a 2006 die clash. So this will be a new one for me. It's actually a fairly good one too, because you can see it without even having it under the microscope. See if the camera will focus on that. Yeah, you can see those eyes. And that's Jefferson's eyes right here. So that's pretty cool. Rolls 46 through 50. Going to give us 3 finds, guys. We're going to have another 1939. And this one will be another Philly example, not the DDR. Then we're going to have a 1957 out of Denver. And another 2024 Philadelphia low mint. So box number 1 of the video is going to finish us out here with 4 from the 30s altogether, 7 from the 40s, one of them being our Silver War nickel right there. Then we got 16 from the 50s altogether. We had 1 mint error, the 2006 die clash, and our 1 semi-key date, which was the 38 San Francisco. If I can pick it up. I believe this is the one. Yep. So that will look nice in the book. We did find 3 2024 Philadelphias, 1 2024 Denver, and then also a 2009 Denver, 2009 Philly, and then our first 2025 Denver. That's also going to go into the book. So we'll move on to the second box of this hunt, which is this guy right here. And this one could be a packed box because we have 4 enders and I'm not sure what all is going to be in here. So it's going to be interesting to see what we're going to find. The first 5 rolls of box number 2 are going to kick us off with 7 more finds. We're going to have 3 1941 Philadelphias, a 1947 Philadelphia right there, a pretty dirty 1949 Philadelphia. We had a 1951 Philadelphia and a 1957. This one's actually going to be a Philly as well. So we had all Philadelphia examples in the first 5. Rolls 56 through 60. Going to give us another 4 finds. Some more older Jefferson nickels, 1958 out of Denver. We did find a 1946 that's pretty worn, and that one's going to be a Denver. The 1941, that is a Philadelphia example right there, again pretty worn. And a 1947, which is going to be a Philly as well. So not doing too bad. And we'll move on to the next 5 rolls. Roll number 65, guys. We're going to have a good find. We got a Buffalo in this box. Does not have a mint mark, but it looks like it's in pretty decent shape. So it's probably going to be, yep, more modern buffalo, but 1937 with decent detail on it still. Not bad at all. All right, this has been a good hunt so far. So now we got a buffalo to add to it. And I don't believe I saw anything else hiding in here, really. No, I think that's about it. What's this guy? 64. Yep. So, as a recap for rolls 61 through 65, we're going to have the Buffalo nickel and two 1957 Denvers. And then we'll move on to the next 5 rolls. Rolls 66 through 70 are only going to give us one lonely find. 1954. And it's a Philadelphia example. So we'll move on to roll 71 through 75. Roll 71 through 75 produced quite a bit for us here. We got a total of, what do we got? Nine coins altogether. And we're going to have our first foreign. And it's going to be a 2008 5-cent piece from Bermuda. It's pretty cool. I really like the fish here. It's nice. And we had 2 from the 30s. Another 1938. This one's going to be a Philadelphia example. Not in bad shape again. Just a little environmentally damaged. And a severely damaged 1939 out of Philly. Look at that. That thing is almost flat. Then we had a 1940 that is damaged as well. And that one's a Philadelphia and pretty slick. A 1946. And that's going to be a Philly, not the Henning. And then 4 from the 50s. We had a 1957 Philadelphia, not in bad shape at all. 1958. That's going to be a Denver example, pretty average circulation. 1959. And that's going to be a Denver. And then a 1951 out of Philly. All right, so that's not bad. We did pretty good there. And we'll move on to roll 76 through 80. Roll 76 through 80 are only going to give us 2 finds, one of them being a badly damaged 1946. And that's going to be a Philadelphia. And then the second, 1958, out of Denver. So we'll move on to rolls 81 through 85. Roll number 83. I just flattened them out, guys. And I believe we're going to have a second buffalo. Yes, we do. This one doesn't look like it's in quite as good of condition. Philadelphia minute again. Now, let's see what we have, though, for a date. What will it be? That's going to be a 1928. All right, not bad. I will take that. That is 97 years old. Still out there floating around. Very cool. All right. Rolls 81 through 85 are hunted. These rolls are going to give us 3 finds. And we are going to have a decent condition 1939. And that is going to be a Philadelphia. And not the DDR, unfortunately. Wish it was. That would have been a really good one. Then we had a 1941 out of Philly. Pretty average. And then our second Buffalo nickel, 1928 out of Philly. Again, a very nice, very good set of 5 rolls. And I'm hoping rolls 86 through 90 are going to be about the same. But let's find out. All right, guys, roll number 86. We got a 1944. So we're going to have silver number 2 for the hunt, number 1 for this box. I believe we need the 44 San Francisco for the book. So let's hope this has an S mint mark on the reverse. What will we have? We don't. It's a Denver. So I'll still take that for sure. But that's sweet. 2 silvers for the hunt. Now we just need a V nickel to get the trifecta. All right. Come on. Rolls 86 through 90. Going to give us a couple more finds. We'll have a 1947 out of Philadelphia. Not in terrible shape. We did get a lower minted 2009 out of Denver. Pretty average. And then our second silver for the hunt and first one of this box. But a 1944 Denver. Pretty cool. All right. So we'll move on to rolls 91 through 95. Rolls 91 through 95 are going to give us 6 more finds, and they're all going to be older Jefferson nickels. We have a 1948. That's going to be out of Philadelphia. We have another 1947. It's also going to be a Philadelphia. Then we had a 1954. Philadelphia. A 1959. And that one is going to be a Denver example. And then a 1949. That is going to be a Philly. And last but not least, 1939. That is going to be another Philly example, not the DDR. So we have 5 more rolls. Let's see what else we can get to wrap up this hunt. All right, guys, that's going to do it for box number 43. The last 5 rolls of this box are going to give us a 1949 out of Philadelphia, a pretty slick 1940, and this one is going to be a San Francisco example. Then we had a 1941 Denver and a 1941 Philadelphia to finish out the hunt. So that is not bad at all. And I will be right back with a recap for box number 43. All right, guys, I'm back for a wrap-up of box number 43. And I would say this box was just as good, if not better, than box number 42. We got quite a few finds again, and some of them pretty rare and pretty old. So let's get into the wrap-up of what we got in this box. And we are going to have one 2009 out of Denver, 1 foreign from Bermuda, 4 30s, one of them being a first year 1938, and then a total of 21 from the 40s, and a total of 13 from the 50s. And then the finds of box number 43 are right here. We have a 1944 Denver silver wartime nickel, and then 2 Buffalo nickels, 1928 Philadelphia, and a 1937 Philadelphia. So again, this was a great box, just like number 42. And now let me get everything together, and we'll do a full hunt wrap up, and then plug in some spots to our albums, because I know we got some album fillers. Here's everything from our 2-box hunt. Look at all this stuff. There's a lot of good stuff up here on the desk. And I'm really surprised that we found some of the things that we did out of these boxes. And I'm happy for them. Very happy for them. We did find 1 foreign for the hunt. We did find a total of 8 from the 30s. One of them will be at the end that I'll go over with you. And then a total of 28 from the 40s. And a total of 29 from the 50s. We did find 3 2009s altogether, 1 Philadelphia, and 2 Denver examples. And we did find 3 2024 Philadelphias, and then 1 2024 Denver, which is awesome. We also found 1 mint error, a 2006 Philadelphia with a die clash. You can see that right there. And then we also found our first 2025 nickel for the channel, and it's going to be a 2025 Denver. And then to finish out the wrap up, the last good pieces to go over for the hunt, we got a key date, 1938 San Francisco, that is going to go into our album. We did get 2 silvers, a 1943 Philly and a 1944 Denver. And then we also found 2 Buffalo nickels, 1928 Philly and a 1937 Philly. So this was an excellent, excellent hunt. And we have to add a couple spots to our albums now, because I know we have at least 2 that are going to get added. And let's do that. And we'll wrap up the video. All right, guys, just as I expected, we did have 2 album editions, the 1938 San Francisco and the 2025 Denver. But I did not expect to have an upgrade, and we did have 1 upgrade. That's going to be the 2013 Denver. But now with our 2 additions, that's going to put us up to 176 spots of 194 possible to fill. And right here is our 1938 San Francisco from today. So we can get that pushed in there, just like so. And our 1 upgrade is going to be our 2013 Denver. You can see this is the example that we had in the book. Kind of scratched up. And the one we put in there today looks basically uncirculated. So that is awesome. And then all the way at the end of our book, the 2025D that we found today. So we can push that in there as well. There we go. I'll get it in there a little bit better after I put the camera down. And then the last thing to do, we found 2 silvers in today's hunt. So we can take our 2 silvers and add them to the silver jar. That looks really nice in there now, especially with all those Kennedys we found in that last $50 hunt. But that's awesome. And again, like I said earlier, this was a great hunt, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. So if you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you made it this far through the video and are not yet subscribed. I appreciate every single one I get, and as well as every thumbs up I get and every view I get. So I appreciate all yous, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.